If you already use ChatGPT, the hardest part of making AI videos is already handled for you. It plans the whole story, writes every prompt, and Higgsfield turns them all into real videos. I'll show you exactly how I take one rough idea all the way to a finished video, step by step, and the best part is you never have to write a single prompt yourself. The very first thing I work on has nothing to do with generating videos. I'll open up a custom GPT I built and give it a rough idea that I think is worth a video. This custom GPT is built specifically for planning videos like this, so it's good at mapping the whole thing out and writing the prompts. I'll leave a link to it below so you can use it too. And if you skip this planning and jump straight into a video tool, the results end up inconsistent, the story's random, and nothing will connect to anything because there was never a plan behind it. Back in the GPT, all I do is type one line. I tell it I want a short dirt bike video out in the desert, around 30 seconds, and I ask it to pitch me a few storylines, then I hit send. It comes back with a few storylines to choose from. I'll read through them and go with this one, where the rider rips across the desert and hits a big canyon jump at the end. Once I'll tell it that's the one, watch what it does. It takes that whole idea and turns it into the full plan for the video. You can see it's already split the whole thing into two videos, around 15 seconds each. It also lays out exactly what I need to build first. One rider, one bike, and one canyon, all reused across both videos. And that's on purpose, because reusing the same rider and location is what keeps the whole video consistent. It even goes a step further and writes the exact image element prompts I'll need for each of those pieces. So by the time I'm done here, I'm not just looking at an outline, I've already got the next stage mapped out too. I haven't made a single video yet, but every decision is already made for me. And from here, I just follow the plan it laid out. The thing is, a plan on its own doesn't get you a video. There's still one part that, if you skip it, will disrupt your whole video workflow. That part is building the handful of pieces every video gets made from before I generate anything. I'll take the element prompts the GPT already wrote and head over to Higgsfield into the image section with GPT Image 2 set as the model because it gives you sharp and realistic images. Then I set the aspect ratio to 16:9 because I want a wide double shot of my elements. And if you want to build this along with me, the link to Higgsfield is in the description. These prompts don't make one normal image each. Each one comes out as a reference sheet. The rider is rendered as a full body shot and a close-up of his face in the same image. The bike comes as a side-on view and a front angle together. And that's on purpose because it gives the video model more than one angle to work from, so later it can keep the rider and the bike looking identical, no matter which way the shot faces. I'll drop in the rider prompt first. As you can see, I've got my rider locked in as a reference I can reuse across the whole video. Then I do the same with the bike. That's the bike done as a reference too. The last one is the canyon, which is just a single wide shot of the location since it doesn't need different angles. Finally, I've got the canyon, the kind of location these stunts need. One thing to keep in mind is to save these images because we're going to use them as references. Saving them matters more than it looks because every video from here pulls from these same files, so your rider and bike never get rebuilt from scratch. That's the real reason the whole video stays consistent. The model always works from one locked set of images instead of a slightly different rider each time. So now my rider, my bike, and my location are all locked in as references I can pull into every video from here. But these are still just images. Nothing's moving yet, and getting them to move is the easy part, which I'll show you in a second. The first thing I'll do is get the GPT to write me a storyboard prompt. A storyboard is just one image with a separate panel for each shot, so it's all the shots of the video laid out in order. The GPT writes that prompt using the rider, the bike, and the canyon that I already made as references. Then I upload them into the image section in Higgsfield and generate it the same way I did the elements. You can see the storyboard for the first video now, with each shot laid out in its own panel. When I'll go to make the video, the model takes that storyboard and follows it as the layout. So instead of making up its own random shots, it moves through the exact ones I planned in the order I planned them. And since the rider and the bike in those panels come straight from my reference images, they stay looking like the same rider and bike the whole way through. Then the GPT writes me the video prompt too, except this one's in JSON. That's just a more structured format. The video models follow more closely, so the result comes out much better. I jump over to the video section in Higgsfield, switch the model to CDance 2.0, and drop in the storyboard and the rider as my references. I set it to 15 seconds, 1080p, and 16:9 for the aspect ratio. It can also generate audio, so I'll keep the audio on, and then I paste in the prompt. Then I hit generate. It also looks really cinematic, pretty much the way I planned it in the storyboard. It won't always be flawless on the first generation, but this one's more than good enough to keep, so I'll move on with it. So that's my first video done, straight from the plan the GPT laid out, and I didn't have to write a single word of either prompt myself. The only thing I've got now is the first half, and I need the second half to continue seamlessly from it so the two don't end up looking like completely separate videos. Now I need that second video to carry straight on from the first one, and there's just one setting in Higgsfield that handles the whole thing. But before I get to that, I'll get the GPT to write me the storyboard for the second video, exactly like I did the first. The only difference this time is that I want to change something. The version it gives me is only 2 shots, and there's a moment I really want in the video. The rider does a full 360 flip over the canyon, then lands, comes to a stop, and pulls his helmet off. So I tell the GPT exactly that, and it rewrites the whole storyboard into 3 panels following that sequence. Then I take it into the image section in Higgsfield and generate it. You can see the updated storyboard builds around the exact sequence I asked for, the bike flip, and then the rider stopping at the end. And that's the nice part about adjusting it at this stage. You can change any shot before you generate an image, so it's far cheaper to get it right here than to burn tokens on a generation and find out it's not what you wanted. Now here's the part that ties the 2 videos together. I load in the new storyboard and the rider like before, but this time I'll also add the first video as the video reference. The GPT even opens the prompt by telling the model to treat it as one continuous shot that picks up right where the last video left off. As you can see, because I fed that first video into Higgsfield as the reference, it picks up right from where it ended instead of starting fresh. And the reason that one setting does so much is that the first video shows the model exactly where the scene ended. So instead of making a brand new video that only looks similar, it just continues from that ending. And here's the second video. It's exactly the result we wanted. So now the 2 of them don't feel like 2 separate videos at all. They play out like one single continuous shot, which means I've pretty much got the whole thing now, and all that's left is putting the 2 halves together into the final video. Now I put the 2 videos together, and this part takes no time at all. For this, I open up CapCut, drop in the first video, then the second one right after it, and that's pretty much the edit. The audio's already there from Seedance, and the 2 already flow into each other, so there's not much to do. I'm just lining them up in the right order. One honest note though, the videos don't always come out matching the storyboard exactly, shot for shot. But it doesn't really matter, because the storyboard still does most of the work. It gives the model a strong reference to follow, so what you get back is always close to what you planned, even when it's not a perfect copy. So let's run the whole thing back to back and see how the 2 shots play as one video. The main thing to watch is the transition between the 2 videos, because if this worked, you shouldn't be able to tell where the first one ends and the second begins. The video starts off nicely, even though the cut in the middle is a little rough. The rider's just standing there, and then all of a sudden he's driving. Just before the 360 flip, it looks like the bike's about to fall, because there's no canyon visible in front of it. But in the next video, there's suddenly a canyon for the rider to jump into. So if you're generating videos like these, keep in mind that inconsistencies can show up, and you'll want to fix them. The bike rotation is a bit too slow, and it looks a little more fake than it needs to. But overall, the video has good graphics and strong character and landscape consistency, which is one of the main things we needed to get right. And if you put a bit more effort and thought into generating these, the issues are easy to fix. In the end, what you're left with is a full video made from one rough idea, with the GPT writing every prompt and Higgsfield doing all the generating. If you want to make one of these yourself, you can do it the exact same way I just did. You don't need any video or editing skills to pull it off. So go sign up to Higgsfield with my link in the description and make your first video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.